Teaching number 190. People, humanity, Elijah's presence is with everyone at this time. Multitudes who are enjoying this communication, listen to the voice of Elijah, whose name has not been very much known to humanity, even when I already gave you to understand the importance of his mission on Mount Tabor, but you have not wanted to analyze this manifestation. Now that you heard the voice of Elijah, you already feel his presence and you even seem to hear the arrival of his chariot of fire. Elijah is the ray that I have always sent you to illuminate your path. He is the one who has illuminated the earth so that you may find and follow the path that leads you sooner to where the Father is waiting for you. He is the bearer of the great mysteries of the Spirit, which in this time has come to clarify for you, so that you can know your Father better. Also now, as in the first era, he comes to carry out a similar mission, to pull down the idols from their altars to teach the world the true spiritual worship. In Elijah you can find explained and proven the law of reincarnation that men fight so much today. In it you can also find a teaching and an explanation of what communication through human understanding is, when he manifested himself spiritually through the lips and understanding of the prophet Elisha. See how many and how great lessons Elijah has always brought you, how he has come to teach your spirit. Look how in all times it has come to make known to you great manifestations of difficult explanation for you. But all those knowledges that you would not have understood in past times, now, in this third era, will be explained to you by Elijah himself, who comes with the mission of restoring everything to its true meaning. Blessed are all those in the world who, feeling that the light of their spirit begins to come alive, say, Elijah has come, and then add, the return of the Lord draws near to us. As in that second era, when men realized that John was prophesying and speaking of the wonders of the kingdom of heaven, they said, could it be Elijah? The great prophet, the forerunner, the envoy is among you, but now he is not incarnated, he is found in spirit, and the ray of light with which it has manifested itself is the same one that was used to destroy the false gods and with which it ignited true faith in the hearts of the Lord's people. Spirits, follow him. Mankind, hear him. He is the shepherd who comes guiding you to my lap. It is the lighthouse that shines and indicates the route for you to reach the port of salvation. Understand that time is passing and the day is drawing near when I will no longer speak to you through these mouthpieces. Those who have taken advantage of my teaching will find themselves at peace, but there will be many orphans who will seek my presence in this way in vain. I will not be absent, I will be closer to you and I will speak to you through everyone who prepares himself from spirit to spirit. The time will come when different sects and religions announce the coming of the Lord and tell you that all the signs are fulfilled and that time has come. You who know the truth will tell them what you know about me. Since the year 1866 I have appeared as a comforting spirit and I have come in search of my own, of those for whom I will make known the good news, O humanity. You will not feel distant from those who, waiting for me, did not see the warning signs in time and were too late understanding what their intuition advised them. Do not ignore each other because of these differences, and if they could not be witnesses of my presence, I have enlightened their spirit and they are on the right path. You will all unite in that ideal. In the different branches of the tree are my chosen ones. Many will come before the year 1950 to witness my communication, others will delay their passage. Blessed are those who hear my word through a spokesman, because they will feel within themselves that they already knew this voice, which is not human, but comes from me. I come to tell you to be guided by your conscience, to free yourselves and not be slaves of those who want to subject you to imperfect worships, prejudices, and dogmas. You can all be my servants, emissaries of my doctrine. In your fight you will not feel alone, on my lap you will be safe and you will not be able to fear anything. I, who is above all creation and throbs in it, speak through man, my favorite creature. Do not be surprised that I communicate through the humble, the clumsy, and that I manifest myself in places full of humility and poverty. I assure you that what is a palace for you is not for me. On the other hand, where you only see poverty and humility, it is possible that deep down there is true spiritual splendor. I tell you this, because there have been many who wonder in their hearts why I do not manifest within the great synagogues or the sumptuous churches. Also at that time many men wondered why the Messiah was not born and raised under the shadow of the Temple of Zion. Now as then, I come to teach you that what comes directly to the Father is the purity of your heart, because each one of its heartbeats will be telling me about your good deeds. See the humility with which I have always come among you, contemplate how in all times I have come without thrones, without scepter or palace, always enveloped in simplicity and meekness. What would the poor, the outcasts, the disinherited think of me if they saw me come to them surrounded by pomp and luxury? They would feel humiliated, unworthy of me. Instead, the lords, the rich, the great of the earth, would call me the god of their caste and their group. When the poor of the world contemplate me barefoot, panting and bleeding under the weight of the cross, they shudder with tenderness before the humility of their Lord and feel identified with him. On the other hand, the rich, although in reality they are not, who should have the same feelings as the humble, cannot conceive me in poverty. Then, an image with which they pretend to represent me, they cover with purple, gold, silks and what they call precious stones. It is that they have forgotten my doctrine, and that is why they have wanted to surround me with everything that most contradicts my teaching, vanity. I must tell you again that I do not speak against any of the religions, because all of them are blessed by me, but you must also understand that I, as a master, must point out the errors that man has been committing, so that one day you come to amend them, because if I did not help you find the truth, when would you find it on your own? Let my truth made light and love reach each man, each religion and each people, just as I allow your truth, or what you have come to form as truth, to reach me. What is that truth of yours that I receive from everyone? It is your prayer, your faith and hope. That light that exists in every spirit when it rises to me, when it speaks to me, it strips itself of all darkness and all lies, to show me only what it truly carries within itself, because even the wicked, by confessing to me, show me their stains, without trying to fool me. It is up to man to perfect himself, to improve his life on earth, without judging the way in which others look for me. I am the only one capable of judging the truth of your works. From the idolater to the spiritualist, all are under my light and my gaze. Just as I often receive great demonstrations of elevation from those whom you consider to be spiritually backward, I can also assure you that many times I receive demonstrations of great backwardness from those who believe they are spiritually advanced. Only a people of faith have welcomed me in this time, and to them I have entrusted this page of the book of my wisdom. On the page of this book, filled with my love, there is a message for all religions that exist on earth. My light will awaken everyone like a divine universal dawn, and when man rises to live within the new day, the proximity of the divine will reach his senses. Now I must tell you that it will not be the kingdom of heaven that descends to men, but rather the spirit of humanity that rises towards the kingdom of its heavenly Father. Why do you always make me come with admonishments? I come to you out of love, because I see that you carry pain in your heart, and I want to comfort you, because I want you to carry my peace in your spirit. Sometimes I appear before you as a judge, sometimes you have me as a father, and I always present myself as a master. Under these three layers you have the divine essence that is one, the law, love and wisdom. Behold the Trinity, which exists in my spirit. Close your eyes and let the spirit free, so that it may experience these moments of communication intensely with its master. Let it feel close to the Lord, like those who in the second era followed the master along the roads, through the valleys, villages, riverbanks and deserts, so as not to miss one of his teachings. Then you will be able to understand the figurative sense with which I sometimes speak, when I take the attributes of the earth to represent the spiritual, to place understanding within your reach. You will see how my word brings the kingdom of heaven closer to your spirit. Come, humanity, let me teach you, or do you want pain to continue teaching you throughout your life? Come to my countryside to sow the land with brotherhood. I assure you that this work will not disappoint you as the world has. Here is the path in front of your spirit, inviting you to take it and never stop, because each step you take on it will bring your spirit closer to the perfect home that awaits it. The time that I will be among you giving you my teaching in this form is already very short, and I want you to learn to make merits, so that in these last years my word overflows through these spokesmen. What must you do so that the divine inspirations are like a reward for your merits? Develop your faith, your determination and your spirituality. May love exist within the people, may charity be practiced, may the truth be loved. Truly I say to you that if you do not unite as is my will, humanity will scatter you, and will throw you out of its bosom if it sees that your life departs from what you preach. What will happen if men discover that in each room there is a different worship and a different way of practicing my doctrine? They will not be able to conceive that I was the one who taught you. I entrust to you the last 3 years of my communication, so that you work for the union of this people, unification that encompasses the spiritual and the material, so that your work, full of harmony and equality, is the greatest demonstration that all of you in different communities and in different provinces were instructed by a single master, God. Not all of you have contemplated with the eyes of the Spirit the times that are approaching for humanity. Not all of you have felt their pain, but I am forming with you a numerous people and converting them into eager servants who are already beginning to love me and who are already eager to fight to fertilize the human heart. Sowers of my word, when the time comes for work in the countryside, go full of faith in the one who has taught you, do not fear mockery or scorn. Sow in fertile soil, not in the rock, nor in quicksand, because there the seed will not bear fruit, you will see it be born and grow, but it will not bear fruit. If you deposit it among thorns and weeds, it will not bear fruit either. That is why you must pray to receive my inspiration, and thus you will know how to choose the prepared land. I, who is the owner of the countryside, will give you large lands to cultivate. Fill yourselves with a great will to work, sow and you will reap, and a day will come when with the wheat of your harvest you will need the bread for your sustenance. Notice, I speak to you in a figurative sense, and you do not know if you will reap that harvest in the hereafter. For today I tell you, great is the fulfillment that you have to develop through the material body that I have entrusted to you. It is your staff and you must guide it wisely. The world is invaded by plagues and calamities that I have announced, begins to feel fear, tries to rise looking for a saving hand, a word of encouragement, and you are its salvation. You will have to cross seas and climb mountains to go to other regions or nations, to find the one who suffers. Do not be afraid of the road, go simply, without carrying extra clothes. When I have pointed out your mission, I have said, take up your cross and follow me. Why do you fear losing the comforts of earth? You tell me that you love the world and that you cannot reach the sacrifice and chastity that this mission demands, and I warn you by saying, at any age, whatever your state or condition, you can love and serve me, without failing to fulfill your duties. Transform the world by your example, destroy bad prejudices and make it a paradise and not a valley of tears. I give you a short time for your fulfillment on earth. Think that you must leave an inheritance of spirituality to your children, because from their descendants the blessed generations will sprout, through which I will manifest myself. Among those spirits will be the prophets, the explainers of my word, those of great faith who will guide humanity. Will you fulfill my word? I bless you because you have heard me and want to follow me. Your heart is overflowing with grace, give of it to everyone who asks for it. At this time you come to receive my lesson, some as disciples, others as infants and others, just out of curiosity, but all of you seek peace, tranquility, and also the fulfillment of the prophecies corresponding to this time. You have not fully found in the sects and religions the certainty of my new coming. It has been outside of them where I have placed an emissary who has given the good news. I have come to judge all spirits and lay the foundations for a new life, a new spiritual order for humanity. If you prepare yourselves, you will be able to contemplate from your world the perfection of the spiritual valley inhabited by the spirits of the just, of those who have known how to elevate themselves through their merits and who today, together with me, work for your salvation. Everything that you have not been able to understand today, you will know in the bosom of this humble people, because my light has been shed and the veil that covered your eyes has been lifted. I speak to you of the eyes of the Spirit, which have been closed to the spiritual and the divine. You have recovered this light and you are guided by me, keep watching. If you master your body and the spirit full of meekness follows in my footsteps, that light will cover you like a garment, and your brothers will contemplate that you are one of my chosen ones, and you will be loved and respected by humanity. You are soldiers of good. I have given you weapons, so that you can fight sin but not your brothers. I do not want man to be born, grow up and die in his sin, ignoring the blessed mission that he has brought to earth. If you penetrate my doctrine, you will strengthen yourselves and you will be invincible. There will be no temptation to make you fall, and thus prepared, you will rise and you will be more than men, incarnated angels for the good of humanity. Many are called and few are chosen, and among them even less are the privileged, but woe to them that become arrogant. That they are not like Solomon, in whom I entrusted wisdom, grace and power, and entrusted him with a people to govern, and he, after reaching a stage of spiritual greatness, in which he demonstrated his elevated spirit, ceased to watch, was dominated by the flesh, and all his work, inspired by love and justice, was overshadowed by his vain and carnal acts. You do not fall into pride, even when you see that for you I pour out great indulgences. If I wanted to choose you to govern a region or a nation, and you, inspired by me, dictate just laws, do not magnify yourselves as men, you will raise your spirits and bow down before me. Many will come to this land that I have chosen, and they will see my light reflected in its inhabitants, and they will feel happy to meet you and step on this ground where I gathered my people to instruct them in the third era. Those who arrive after 1950 will seek the writings, and knowing my revelations will feel the strength that comes from my teachings. They will bless you and love me. How many of them belong to the people of Israel, to the designated 144,000 who will join you to obey my commands? Today in the nations, materialism and confusion permeates. I have spoken to you, spiritually, and my seed has been sown in the hearts of my chosen ones, so that it may be scattered everywhere. You, from your nation, do what you can to help everyone on their spiritual journey. Few is the number of my disciples that surround me at this moment, but my word will spread to the ends of the earth. Full of love, those who cry out for love will reach the heart. For you, this is the right time for you to know the mission that you must fulfill before humanity. I have prepared you so that you understand how to carry out your role in this world and know what awaits you beyond the material barrier where spiritual life begins. I have helped you develop spiritually so that you can understand why events happen that the mind cannot conceive. While the spirit is fused to matter, it does not distinguish nor can it know the merits it has done in its previous lives, but you already know that your life is eternity, a continuous unfolding, trying to reach the top, but today you do not know what height you have reached. I have watched you since you began to walk with a confused and dull mind. I have seen you awaken little by little and evolve until you reach more precise ideas of reality. I have watched you struggle against adversity, trials and temptations, and when you have finally discovered the value of spiritual life, managing to elevate yourselves, I have seen your spirit smile. That smile has been one of peace, satisfaction and hope. But I have also seen it retreat, muddying itself in the world, then it cried and had to purify itself to reach my grace. But even in its falls it has found a light, the light of experience. You are already in a position to not deceive yourselves, because the veil that covered the clarity of the truth, you have drawn it back with my light, and you have contemplated the clear horizon to continue forward with a sure step. That light that illuminates the path is clear. You can no longer deviate, unless you want to rebel against the same truth, seduced by the false brilliance of earthly pleasures and possessions. I cannot tell you either that you live confident in yourselves, nor that you are free from every touch of temptation, because there are forces that struggle to tear down what I am building together with you, forces that hide their darkness, presenting themselves full of attractions. I warn you of this so that you can defend yourselves with the courage of your faith. The destiny of man is to know the truth and rise to the one who created everything that exists, but the road is long, so that in it you can develop all your gifts, look at me, feel me, and love me. The path that you have chosen has thorns, it is rough and it will test your strength and faith. After going through it, the spirit will be purified. The other path is the one that goes twists and turns, but since it offers pleasures and contains apparent attractions, it makes you stop your progress without caring about arriving later, since you are enjoying yourself. But whoever is surprised in the supreme hour within that path, will experience the infinite bitterness of seeing that he did nothing for the good of his spirit. I could enumerate one by one the paths that are presented to man, because there are so many, it seems difficult to choose the most suitable one. The spirit, coming to inhabit the earth, has been granted as an opportunity for its development and improvement a matter or human body, whose marvelous and perfect formation allows him through it to feel, think and move at will, according to his spiritual capacity. The spirit participates in the satisfaction of the flesh, just as it refines itself in its sufferings. But also the human being is sensitive to the delights and sorrows of the Spirit, both form, while they are linked, a single being. There is perfection in the human being, that is why Christ, the Word, came to incarnate in a human body similar to yours, but he did not suffer because of his own imperfections, but because of the sin of men whom he elevated with his pain, with his sacrifice and his word, because they had fallen very low. When the Spirit with all its strength cannot overcome the hardness and reluctance of matter, the merciful charity of the Father, who was the one who created the Spirit and the flesh, comes to save you like the good shepherd to the lost sheep, because none of my children will be lost. My peace be with you.